Let's talk selling products,
Yeah.
right? Because you've sold a few of them,
Yeah.
and you continue to. What have been some of the keys, do you think, over the 7 years to not only being able to galvanise the community that you have, and I'm assuming, there's a deep sort of consumer insight there, whether it's written down anywhere or not, or whether it's just in Jane's head, I think is sort of secondary, right? But intuitively, I think you have a deep empathy for your audience. Talk to us about what you believe the keys have been to you guys performing so well.
I think it's I think the fact that I'm not a fashion-y person has been actually amazing, and that's probably why I was like scared and nervous that I was even entering the fashion industry, has been a huge benefit, because I came into the market in the industry as someone that's part of the mass market. So basically just looking at what your everyday customers want, and not really thinking like, oh, I learned this in fashion school and this is like all the rage or whatever, like, I don't know. Like, so we basically have been very driven by numbers, like just looking at what sells and looking at selling patterns and doing more of that. Yeah. And then, so the thing about Instagram is you get instant feedback about what's working through the engagement levels. So you just do more of what works. And of course we still we do certain things for brand building and not just for selling, as we said before. But I think just being very like pragmatic about it and just very like analytical has really helped.
Janet, let's talk, because so much of this generation selling is premised on social media, right? Like it's the new platform where particularly our generations and below, right, are going to consume media and consume content. What are some interesting things that have worked for you guys lately from a building audience on social media, and what are the key platforms you think people should be looking at?
Well, I think there hasn't been that much new just very recently. I think video is obviously working very well, and I think Showpo has been a very early adopter of like making videos, and I think you, in terms of live videos, you're like one of the first that I've seen on Facebook, which is like, it's fantastic to have that first mover advantage, I guess. So video definitely is working really well. I've been told by someone that YouTube might be making a second comeback, so that's why I started a vlog. I don't like really know what I'm doing, but I think for me, it's like if you hear that something might be working, you just want to give it a go, because I would hate for like me to be sitting here 2 years later, having heard that YouTube might be working, not done it, and then it is like working. So I think it's just like for everything to give it a go, and I think ultimately it comes down to whether it matches your audience. Like for us, Instagram, like our demographic is 16 to 36-year-old women, and so something like Instagram works really well. Pinterest was still like, Pinterest is always, I think like Pinterest is that thing that everyone wants to do it, but no one has time for it. But something like Twitter doesn't really work that well for us, which I'm sure it works more for you guys. So I think it kind of really does depend on the demographic, but there's nothing like new that's exciting that's come out, I think. But definitely Snapchat is like probably over. Probably.
Have you been using it less since Insta Stories came out?
Yes, I have. But the thing is,
I actually feel guilty that I'm using Snapchat so little these days, but I really am.
I know, it's just not as many features. But I remember once upon a time saying that I thought Facebook is dead, and Facebook Organic is kind of dead, but we're actually we're getting 500,000 people engaged weekly. So it's not dead, but I was doing this interview about talking just about a bunch of things, and then I think I said as a small comment about how Facebook is dead, which became the headline of this like news article. So now it's like timestamp to me saying Facebook is dead, and it's not. So I'm well aware that what I'm saying could turn out to be wrong later.